Well, I was very shocked with this multi-tool, but we'll get to that in a minute. This is going to be the Gerber MP1, Gerber's attempt at a Cadillac multi-tool. Now, right off the bat, you'll notice this is a little bit different than some of Gerber's other offerings, such as their center drive, their truss. It's got a different look to it, and definitely it's got a different feel. It still has some of the same architecture where these come up and you unlock the tools, they go down, they lock. But this will be the Gerber MP1 rather, and there are three different variants. There's the Gerber MP1, which is just more of the civilian version. There is the MRO, which is a military version, or it's geared toward the military. And then there's a weapons-based, and this is going to be the AR. Again, geared more toward the military. So I picked this up, and these are now discontinued from what I understand. And I believe there's only a couple places you can get these online brand new. So mostly you'll have to pick these up used. So let's today look at what the MP1 offers and if it's worth adding to your collection or using in everyday life. So one of the first things we notice, this is one of the huge surprises, there's a couple others, is that the Gerber MP1 feels definitely a lot less solid than I thought. So right away you can see there is a ton of play in these pliers. So I looked up online, and I am not alone. Many people have had this issue where these pliers just rotate back and forth. They sent them in to be fixed, and they come back the same exact way. One of the other surprises is these handles are really weird. These are nylon infused handles. They're like a tough plastic. I was not expecting that. Now on some of the MP1s, I believe just the normal civilian version, they come in G10. At least that's what I've heard. But in this one, it's more of a nylon based. It is a tough plastic, but it just feels a little cheap. But it does make the tool feel rather light, and you do have some good grip factor on the sides. So we've looked at some of the negative aspects, and before we go on, this is probably going to be a deal breaker for many people, but look at the plier or the handle flex. I mean, it is just, wow, it's just awful. Compare that to the Surge, and I mean, the Surge is like solid. Even the center drive, now at the end you don't have much room to flex, but it is very solid. I have to say even the $40, $45, $50 Gerber truss is a tank compared to the MP1. The MP1 is 3 times, when it was released, 3 times as expensive as the Gerber truss, and it seems a lot weaker. So that was a huge surprise for me, and I was really disappointed out of the box, ready to discount this multi-tool, and I wondered why did I hear so many positive things about it, and then I started to use it. So let's go ahead and look at some of its functions. On this handle with the Gerber MP1-AR, there's going to be several of these functions that are just weapons based. So this actually can come off of the tool, and then you can replace that or add it with something else. And this is another weapons tool as well. And then we have the serrated knife, and then we have the straight edge, and we have the awl, which is really, this is a carbon scraper, but just because I'm not using this as a weapons-based tool, I've used it as an awl. And then we have one of the biggest pluses is the bit driver, the 1/4-inch bit driver. Now, I almost always, every day, carry with me the Leatherman Surge. So today I decided, since I knew I was going to be doing a review on the MP1, I would switch out the Surge, put in the MP1, and I was pretty nervous. How is the MP1, with all that extreme plier flex, going to hold up to a pretty strenuous workday? Well, it held up pretty good. So I put it through its paces, and I was amazed at how often I used this. the 1/4" bit driver. Now notice the Leatherman Surge does not have that, and I feel like that is a huge advantage, something that is probably often overlooked that Gerber, the center drive especially, and even the MP1 has, is this locking outside bit driver. Really easily accessible, and all these tools are outside accessible. Really, really handy. Now I have to say also the Gerber MP1 feels fairly light in the hand. To me, the center drive, I believe from what I've read or heard, is actually maybe a little bit lighter than the MP1, but when it comes to how perception, the MP1 definitely feels like a lighter tool and a more streamlined tool than the Gerber center drive. So I was using this a lot today while I was working on air conditioners. I was taking off 1/4" bolts. I was taking off furnace doors, and I have to say I really like this outside this screwdriver. Now, one of the other things that to me is a huge plus about this multi-tool is it's actually got a wire stripper in the handle. Now, I'm not sure if the MRO version has that or not. I guess several of the other, I think the civilian version may have that as well. But anyway, so there is, at least on the AR version, there is this wire stripping notch. Now, for instance, let's go ahead and cut this wire. This is about the size gauge wire I use, or not I use, but that I encounter in the workday. And it really strips pretty good. So I was pretty excited about that. It seems like Song is about one of the only other multi-tool brands that has actually incorporated a wire stripping notch in the head. Now I know there's a Klein wire stripper, I know there's a Crescent, I know there's several other, but I mean of the big 3 or 4 brands, Gerber seems to be one of the only ones that has a later model. Song had several of the Paladin line, but those are very, very expensive. So because it has the wire stripping notch, because it has this outside opening screwdriver, I have to say I did find this multi-tool useful. Is it worth $150? Absolutely no, in my opinion. In my opinion, if you're going to be using this as a tough tool, you'd be better off using even the Gerber truss at about 1/3 of the price. The MP1 is a medium-sized duty tool. You are not going to be buying it for the strength aspect, but more for the specialized tool set, in my opinion. Well, I hope this helps. Like, subscribe, and we've got a lot more multi-tool videos coming up. See you in the next one.